Welcome in, everybody, to officially season 2 of Sunday Pug Days here at Ape Squad. I am so excited to see you all. I'm Beaver. I'm going to be joining you as one of the casters tonight. If you don't know who I am, I'm a full-time streamer and Bark partner. But of course, I am joined by the wondrous Mr. Bepic. How are you, Mr. Bepic? Welcome in. It's good to see you.
I'm fantastic, Beaver. I'm excited to be spending my Sunday evening kind of chilling out with the files instead of going wild like we did all of yesterday during those America's Cycle 1 insane top 16 moments. I had a great time watching that broadcast, but now we get to keep the adrenaline maybe just a little bit lower, but still up. We'll have a good time tonight.
Tonight will definitely be a lot lower stress levels than what was going on yesterday with, of course, the top 16. Congratulations to all of the teams that have made it through to the top 8. And, of course, to those who did not, maybe Cycle 2, things will work out a little bit differently. Mr. Bepic, we're going to be jumping into the first game in just a moment here, it seems. But, of course, you were talking about yesterday. Was there any team that surprised you with their performance? I know you watched a lot of it.
I hate to be on the negative side of things, but Envy going all the way to qualification round 8 was a serious shocker. I think that's probably the most negative side of the top 8. They still made it out, yes, but the fact that they had to play all day in the top 16 and only just got out in that final round was kind of wild. But you know, on the other side of the coin, Auntie's Goo Boys, they are dominant over North America right now, going out first, #1 overall seed. I think that's the brightest side of yesterday's top 16.
Absolutely. I mean, Envy, I think a lot of people were definitely surprised by their performance. It's great they were able to make it through, though. But let's talk about tonight's games because, of course, we're going to have a lot of fun, Mr. Bepic. We're going to be jumping in with our very first game on Fanghua City in these 3v3s. It's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of fun. Are you ready for this, Mr. Bepic?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been looking for more places to get my finals fix in because, I mean, we got to wait for PHL's last chance qualifiers, a break before that, the next Ape Squad events, I'm sure coming up at some point. But we're here regularly with Sunday Pug Days, here to have a good time. It's the Silverbacks versus the Monkeys, 3v3 if you're unfamiliar with the format. Everyone just popping in, and it's a celebrity sighting, Beaver. Sansoyo, they're on the Silverbacks.
Oh, lovely to see them here on the Silverbacks, of course. Curious to see how they'll perform, as normally they're a caster, but today they are a contestant. Already, though, we're going to be seeing the live wires, or should I say, the Monkeys, looking to get some shots in regen with a beautiful tracking dart shot, getting some intel for the team there. But now, of course, the shots rattling out. It's Pomito down and taking a little bit of damage. The Silverbacks, though, already caught off guard. The Hunter taken out, the Heavy eliminated. Now it's the 2 lights left to fend for themselves.
Now tried to 1v3 right there, backlining like crazy behind the Monkeys' fronts, and I got caught out, well punished. Now it's just Sansoyo all alone, and just find a 1v1, but ends up losing it there at the very end. Regen taking the W for the team, signing off on the fight, and now popping the vault, which everyone was so focused on the fighting, no one ended up tapping the vault, so no real harm done to the Silverbacks' chances losing this first fight.
Yeah, they'll respawn in and potentially be able to delay the plug depending on how things go here. And their spawn, of course, we're going to see how that goes for them. A little bit far away, but there is, of course, the potential chance for them to disrupt their flow and make the Monkeys go bananas, perhaps. But we'll see what happens as they make their way over. The plug does come in.
And I was promised some potentially weird off-meta comps, and I'm not really seeing anything too crazy in this first game here on Sunday Pug Day. Everybody's kind of locked in at the very start. HLL on the Silverback side, so a lot of movement to get back to Cash Out B rather quickly upon respawning, but there's a large chunk of that health bar. God, caught out early on, but does manage to escape with their lives and reposition on the flank, actually, coming from behind. Don't find apples, but connect a whole lot of damage. Needs the reinforcements of the rest of the Silverbacks to find that opening pick.
You were just talking about some wacky loadouts, and actually I do see Hunter making a swap over and pulling out the flamethrower here, which I personally love. I'm a big flamethrower enjoyer. RPG going out, not exactly going to land. They do get healed up, though. But now the flamethrower is really putting in the damage. Pomito still able to secure one, though. D-God gets the trade. It's currently a 1v2 with Pomito very, very low. They've got to be very, very careful here. Of course, the light D-God is searching, and he does find that elimination.
It was enough time for Apples to get back on the map. Ended up coining here, but I don't think we'll be able to contest this as Dome Shield's up. So the Hunter should be able to stick this steal no problem. That's the help of the rest of their teammates. And so the Silverbacks recover after losing that first fight. And now it's the Monkeys trying to find a way back in. As Apples, it's down to just one bar pretty early on in this fight. And now, caught out again, regen found. Silverbacks know where everybody is, but they've lost everybody on their side. It's just D-God left. Like that. So the Monkeys will go for a late steal here, though. Not a whole lot of cover, so forced off of the steal as Apples, but there's still plenty of time to get that flip.
Yeah, good play by the Monkeys there, able to reclaim control of that vault, and they will walk away with the money here. Absolutely no chance for the Silverbacks to respawn in time, and we're going on to a vault numero dos here. Of course, guys, if you're in the chat thinking about playing in some of these games, you can. All you have to do is join the Discord. You have to join the call, queue up, and you'll be able to play and maybe even get casted by us today in these wondrous events. But let's get back on topic here as both teams are making their way over towards Vault 2. Sansoyo very, very close behind his teammates there. Nye the Hunter taking a lot of damage early on. Again, with the flamethrower, they've got to close the distance. With that lockbolt in hand, maybe they'll be able to do something. Sansoyo, though, again, brought down to very low HP. They've got to be extremely careful as D-God goes down too. The lockbolt comes in, the flamethrower goes out. It is burning them up, and that's an excellent elimination onto Pomito.
Regen was holding that position from the very get-go. That pretty aggressive flanking spot that ended up catching Sansoyo out, leaving Nye the Hunter all alone in a one-on-one, but still with the health bar as it is. Nye is not in a good spot, though does manage to get behind the cover of that brush and fallen tree. The necessary shield to postpone this fight. And now Regen dropping a flash. I think they're the one that popped it, but you know, us spectating Regen completely blind. And in the meantime, the rest of the Silverbacks have coined and gotten back up. So Regen needs to get out of there quickly as numbers have flipped.
Yeah, it seems like this fight is almost completely reset. It does seem like the Monkeys do have their final player ready to coin in. Perhaps they're taking a moment, but no, they actually do get the res instead. Excellent work. So now it's a full 3v3 again. Already, though, the tides are turning. It's a 2v2. Just as I say that, oh, down goes D-God. AK shots rattling out from Apples. This could be the end of this vault fight, finally.
Mesh Shield postpones the inevitable as Apples will take the final kill of that fight, but it was all Monkeys. We're able to maintain a pretty strong advantage all the way through, and even when the Silverbacks used their coins to get back in, I think the remaining Monkeys that were still standing, Regen in the moment, I think it was Pomito that ended up joining the fight not too long after that, did well to stall enough to get everybody back on the same page, didn't allow the Silverbacks any big picks to turn the fight, and it's another huge win, but just fighting over the cash box. So we're gonna get the plug, and the Silverbacks are very much back up to contest this. Great shooting there.
Tracking dot going out from D-God right there. Able to get some intel for the team, of course. The vault has been plugged, however, and now it's Sansoyo tearing them up with the LH1, and now it's Apples alone to try and hold out for the team. They do manage to secure a nice little res onto Regen now, but of course, it's going to be the Silverbacks in control of this vault. The Monkeys going to have to work together, regroup, and try to make some sort of combined push here, but it might not be enough as Apple's already brought down to about half HP. Just as I say that, though, Regen coming in with a beautiful flank, going invis mode as well. Grenades going out too. Oh my goodness, this is crazy, Mr. Bepic.
Sansoyo was rolling down the stairs, or his trophy was at least, as Nye was trying to get the revive. So, and that ended up stalling a little bit longer, and that allows the Monkeys now to move in. But Sansoyo, upon being rezzed by his teammate, still finding a lot of impact. As he finds the opening pick, Regen is down, and so Pomito and Apples trying to salvage this fight as Time is starting to dwindle just a little bit as cash out is about halfway through its full timer. Now the monkeys move on in, but it looks like there's reposition there from Decod, smartly playing around the flamethrower as Nye has to get up close and personal for these fights, and here they go.
Oh my goodness, flamethrower again from Hunter. Going crazy, not able to land the elimination though onto Palmito. But there it is, Sansoyo and Decod getting some excellent eliminations. That is that powerful HLL composition we're seeing in control of this match right now. And unfortunately, there's just nothing the monkeys can do. Time is not on their side. The positioning is not there. It's going to be the Silverbacks walking away with the cash.
Seems like that fight was predicated on the fact that the Silverbacks figured out how to tether around the flamethrower, because you saw Decod and Sansoyo playing a little bit too aggressive, I think, in the first couple of fights, and they just get popped early on or brought down to 1 bar of HP and forced to reset. But right there with the cash out station being where it was, and I was able to kind of play back and forth between buildings, finding impact with the flamethrower, but then getting out before they were their low range was taken advantage of. And then with Sansoyo and Decod shooting well around that, the monkeys didn't really have a way into that fight. So nicely executed by the Silverbacks to get back in this one. But still, that final box to fight over, and it's already been started here by the monkeys.
Yeah, right now, Regen kind of out and about. Sansoyo, though, taking some beautiful shots with the LH1, trying to line things up here. However, it's unfortunately not going to go exactly the way Sansoyo believes. Regen still with the tracking dart, too. I love to see the tracking dart coming out. It can be so versatile and helpful for your team to plan out those flanks as they do. But as I say that, Palmito taking some good damage to the flamethrower, also with that burn chip damage. Finally, the elimination comes in for Nye the Hunter. It's currently a 3v2. Make that a 3v1, as Regen is all that's left standing here.
Oh, Regen might have actually gotten out there as Nye was blinded for a moment, but was only able to escape for just that second. Sansoyo hunts him down, and the Silverbacks win yet another fight, really finding some good life here in the back half of this 3-on-3, as Nye, I think, had every flamethrower player's dream of 2 lights right next to each other. Didn't have to do a whole lot of work to connect the flames to bodies, and so Silverbacks in a really good spot, playing around their strengths.
Yeah, I absolutely love the flamethrower. I believe flamethrower, depending on your comp, can actually be one of the most incredible weapons in the game, and I think more pro teams should give it a try because it can be absolutely deadly. But let's see what happens here in this fight. Sansoyo vanish bombing away to safety there, still lining up the shots, finds a beautiful target in the air, not able to connect those bullets, however. And now, of course, the fight still lasts on. 3v3, good health for all members. Apples, though, taking a bit of chip damage from the side. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here as Decod goes down, though. Unfortunately, the AK finds their targets. Now it's currently a 2v3 here, with Silverbacks trying to defend and hold on to their cash.
Oh, and that tossing of the flashbang gave away Regen's position, but Sansoyo peeking that, taking the fight. It's kind of humbled right there. Great find by Regen. Brings us into a 3v2 with Decod and Nye both low on health. They've got to slow down and reset this fight as they still got possession of the cash out, but for how much longer? Regen's just sticking this. Has great coverage from Apples. Nye gets up too late with the flamethrower, and so we see a flip from the monkeys. They've got control here in the waning moments of this pug.
This is where things are going to be a little bit challenging for the Silverbacks. Right now, it's currently a 2v3. They're waiting for the coins to come in. Sansoyo is traveling forward, but of course, with the positioning that the monkeys have right now, it's going to be really difficult for them to do anything, especially with time chipping down. They don't have time to plan up any sort of strong attack. They just kind of send it and hope for the best here. We'll see what happens, as surely the Silverbacks will make their final push in just a moment here. Sansoyo caught out, though, unfortunately, taking a bit of damage there. The box does come down, and now we're down to the final few moments of this game. What will happen here as Nye the Hunter goes in for the steal? They have the dome shield. They are getting shot at, though. They have to get pushed off, but are they going to hold on to it? Mr. Epic.
It seems like they are. The Monkeys hold possession, and despite an insanely back and forth 3-on-3 there for being just a pug, these players coming together to play today here on Sunday Pug Day. That was a tight back and forth from the get-go, but the Monkeys hold on with the kind of last-second flip, and they hold on for the final fight to keep control. Really nice win after the Silverbacks started gaining momentum in the middle of that game.
Yeah, Silverback's looking very strong on that second box in particular, but Monkeys, I mean, wow. When they got that final steal with the time remaining, I knew it was going to be really challenging for the Monkeys to try and do anything there. It's just unfortunate, a matter of fact, that time was not on their side.
Got a regen, top fragging in that game, and really did find a lot of impact with the aggressive light positioning that you usually find in the HML compositions, playing away from his teammates. And I think that one-on-one fight with Sunsoyo towards the end is really what started to shape the ending of that game in favor of the Monkeys, as it was Sunsoyo versus Regen away from their teammates, a straight up light 1v1, and Regen did get the better of him, was able to pop him, catch him out, and that led to a changing of the guard there at the end.
Absolutely. I do have to say, though, Nye the Hunter on Flamethrower, I love to see it. Again, I love Flamethrowers. I think, genuinely, that more pro teams should give it a try, because when you kind of build your comp around it, you kind of become unstoppable in a way. But hey, I'm not exactly a pro. Maybe they know something I don't.
Hey, you saw how effective it was when Sunsoyo and Decod were really playing around the flamethrower well. That second cash out was a great example of how you play the flamethrower and how to position around it, especially being a pair of lights. So it's effective when used well. We still see it a little bit at the very top of the comp scene, but still difficult to execute all the time when you just lack the range that almost every single other weapon in the game gives you. And I think that's how Monkeys are able to win enough fights to get out there with the win.
For certain. You are absolutely right. But we're going to see what happens in this upcoming match, because, of course, we do have some absolute gamers coming into the lobby with Joe Wosef as one of the members of the Silverback. That is a name everybody fears. Did you see how they performed previously yesterday during the top 16?
No, I didn't catch that part. How'd Joe do?
Joe was tremendous. I really loved how they were moving. I mean, they blew me away with how they did, okay? We're jumping in on Skyway Stadium, which is one of my personal favorite maps. I saw a lot of Skyway Stadium as well on the cash-out matches from yesterday, too. So going to be interesting. All these players, if they're from the tournament yesterday, they're going to be pretty warmed up here. We'll see what happens, though, of course. As for the Boundless, or should I say the Silverbacks, Joe Wosef, Agent Penguin, and also Icy Hyper. That is a scary lineup.
Who we got on the Monkeys side as they'll load in? Okay, WSC is the only name that I caught there before they popped out. So I'll have to catch up with the Monkeys here in a second. But loading on into Skyway Stadium, and got Seb and I Worship Elmo. I mean, you're talking about names to be feared. I think the Elmo worshiper should be striking fear to their enemies right about now. But Double HLL popping into this lobby. Mesh Shield on one side, Winch on the other. A nice little dichotomy of the two HLL comps.
Yep, and now we just have the poke meta coming out in full force. Although Agent Penguin with that sniper is going to absolutely shine potentially here with that range. We'll see what happens, though. Nice, beautiful shot taken from Agent Penguin. But of course, Joe Wosef right now with the ARN just spraying it down. They get attacked by the bow, melee eliminated, and that's the first domino to fall in what could be this insane opening fight here, Mr. Bepic.
So we've got a recurve bow, we've got a BFR in the lobby, and a couple of aim Andes in this pug. I'm looking forward to it. So far, so good. Joe being picked off gives the Monkeys an advantage, and the recurve bow is staying right up in the face of the Silverbacks. Leads to Icy Hyper actually being taken out as well. So it's just Agent Penguin all on their lonesome, representing the Silverbacks by themselves, and not for much longer. The Monkeys chasing them down, and okay, I see you, Agent Penguin. Nice pick, and is actually playing this 1v3 fairly well. It buys a lot of time, but ends up still being a full team wipe. So we'll see the Silverbacks here in a little while.
Hey, taking one with him was honorable. We love to see that, Agent Penguin. Okay, the sniper again. in that opening fight, depending on how players moved positioning, that could have absolutely shown, and I'm sure we'll see that come out here in just a moment, as we're going to be playing black tops potentially on this next cash out here, cash out B, where we're going to be depositing the money in. So depending on the spawns here, they could really have an opportunity to flip the script on the monkeys.
Still a cash out station that's inside is not going to fit. I think the gun choices of the Silverbacks very well, being pretty aim heavy. The BFR and sniper inside, you get a little bit of a disadvantage considering all the corners, but I'll see what happens. They got to keep numbers up, as Agent Penguin is this time around taken out first, and Silverbacks can't hold 3 players on the map at a given time. Now just down to Icy Hypers. I worship Elmo with the dualies doing well to find a big pick, but now they're on their own. I see Hyper finding a big kill, but does not notice where the rev is happening. Tries to get a teammate up themselves, and with a coin, Agent Penguin will be back, but they only watch Icy Hyper fall. It's a 1v2.
Yeah, Agent Penguin gonna have to wait at least 4 seconds for another coin to come in, but they're getting winched. They went way too aggressive there. Dove in on that heavy, and unfortunately just does not work out for them. That's going to be a full-on wipe for the Silverbacks here. That's going to be a lot of time gone on this cash out too. They're not going to have a ton of time left to move in and try and get a steal, so this one might be going to the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys never let the Silverbacks get any sort of footing in that fight. Silverbacks were always down a player, it felt like, having to debate between, do I want to take this 1v1, 1v2? Do I want to try and res my teammate? Do I have time for that? And nothing quite worked out there. And so the Silverbacks have to find a way back in, and Joe Wosif already dead. Icy Hyper moving in as well. Agent Penguin trying to do what they can to help the cause, but 1v3 again with that sniper, it's not going to happen. It is an easy cleanup for the monkeys.
Excellent work by them, quite frankly. They had control the whole time. They didn't let their finger slip whatsoever. And they're going to be walking away with the first vault, which means they are one step closer to claiming victory here. But could the Silverbacks come back from this? I think there's a strong possibility. It's a yes. Let's see what happens as they spawn in and move towards the vault.
I mean, they could easily find picks. The time to kill with the weapons they've got is pretty fast if they're landing their shots. So with an out in the open fight, I think we could see Silverbacks try to turn things around, as we're seeing it. The monkeys have already been brought down to just Elmo, and that's a clean wipe for the Silverbacks. Got in and out with all 3 kills.
Tremendous work. I saw all of those members. I think that was nearly a team ace there. Everybody got their ones, quite frankly, I think. So excellent work to the Silverbacks there. They're going to be able to take this vault, get that plugged, no issue whatsoever. But of course now the monkeys do spawn in, and their spawn is relatively close. And already we see Seb setting up a gateway to try and get height here. But already on the opposite side of the map, we have multiple members of the Silverback trying to hold on to that height position. They're going to have to dive down, though, as already the steal attempt is coming in from the monkeys. This could be a big blunder on their part, potentially, as they're not able to rotate in quick enough, and that's just basically a free flip.
The timing was not on their side. I like the idea, trying to play height there and catch the monkeys as they move in, but Joe Wosif got the plug, but could not escape, was hiding and found out quickly by the monkeys sniffing them out. And so 2v3 again, the Silverbacks cannot start a fight 3-on-3, it feels like. Straight up, they are always down a man, and the monkeys are using that to their advantage. So they got to find a way back in once Joe Wosif is able to rejoin us in the land of the living. The monkeys are well positioned at the moment and have already almost found a pick. Joe Wosif does go down, but trade for Seb. That BFR now landing shots, and down to just a couple of bars. Icy Hyper will confirm that final kill, as that's a big couple of chimings in by Agent Penguin and Icy Hyper. They get their kills. Joe Wosif kind of given up early on in that fight, but for a good cause. A trade early on sets Silverbacks up for success.
A worthy sacrifice,
yes,
to get that box. We love to see it. Joe Wosif doing their job as intended. Now, of course, monkeys going in for a last-second steal. If they get this, of course, they will be the victor of this match. But we'll see what happens. Is already Icy Hyper with the BFR getting some nice shots down long range here. Not going to be able to stop the monkeys from moving in, however, and they're going to be able to get into cover. And now it's going to be a matter of seeing can the lights kind of hold things down. Seb in a bit of a battle right now against Jowoseph, not able to secure that. We do see a beautiful snipe come in as well from Agent Penguin, the Agent Fuser too, and now it's just I Worship Elmo all alone trying to stop the Silverbacks. It's not enough, unfortunately.
Power of high ground right there. We got ourselves a little crane fight. A couple of head glitch positions, and Agent Penguin coming out on top. That's a really important frag as well because it prevents the monkeys from claiming high ground and having that second angle of attack on the Silverbacks in their positioning. And because that fight was so drawn out as well, it wasted a lot of precious seconds for the monkeys, who couldn't establish any sort of footing into that fight. Nice hold by the Silverbacks. It's a really good recovery for how bad this 3-on-3 started. They had no business being in any of the fights at the start of this game, but they have recovered tremendously.
I love the reversal of momentum we just saw. Like you mentioned, they were struggling early on, but I think they've found their footing, quite frankly. Although to say that is a little bit different because Agent Penguin is down. We do see a fight breaking out over at the vault, however. Right now, it's currently RPGs dropping in. Jowoseph down to just about 1 HP, being chased all over. And sadly, it's going to be the monkeys taking this banana.
Well, if you're going to lose one fight, it might as well be the one fighting over the box. As no plant. They got the start, but Silverback should be able to get back as this plant's coming in. So the monkeys won't have a ton of time to set up, but this is a decent position for them, considering the long range of the Silverbacks, as this box will be inside and won't be a lot of easy avenues to land shots on these monkey players, especially given that they're able to find their spots and get ready for this engagement.
Yeah, shots already raining in. Jowoseph down to about half, along with Icy Hyper. They're getting Agent fused up, though, right now, and members of the monkeys currently inside trying to hold out for dear life and just wait and play their time. Jowoseph, though, another huge shot taken, and he's completely eliminated. Agent Penguin looking for the no-scope on the bow player. Will be able to land it. He gets the melee at least, and now it's currently a 2v1 with Waz trying to keep things together for the monkeys here. If he drops, it's going to be a perfect opening for the Silverbacks to get that flip, of course. But in the corner, he has found Agent Penguin still chasing. This is just back and forth, a Scooby-Doo chase indeed.
Great wherewithal, though, to get the revive while this one-on-one is going on, but Waz has found 2 kills just like that, and Icy Hyper suddenly is put into a 1-on-2 as Elmo should be able to get back into the fight. He corners Icy Hyper there and still can't confirm the kill, but monkeys have everybody back up, and the Silverbacks completely thrown apart. What was looking like such a favorable spot for the Silverbacks has quickly been turned around by Waz, finding a big-time 1v2 win.
How quickly the tides can turn for you in the finals. That was so unfortunate. The Silverbacks were looking so strong in that fight, and the fact that the monkeys were able to coin in and keep things going is absolutely insane to me. They're not going to have enough time here to get to the box. It's just a matter of an ego fight at this point. Shots raining out. Icy Hyper gets down pretty low. There's the elimination. And now currently just the monkeys proving their dominance here.
He shot through the window, and they'll go for the steal, but there wasn't any time left there. And I don't know if you caught it, but that was some nice looking C4 there on the cash out, the black and yellow banana. Maybe that's what propelled the monkeys to their win here, but really nice recovery after the Silverbacks did well to get back into the game. Fairly dominant second cash out, but the monkeys, once they were able to find a cash out that was inside without a ton of angles for the sniper and the BFR of the Silverbacks, it was kind of almost done. Silverbacks did well to get back there, but Waz, with that massive 1v2, turned things right around.
Yeah, that 1v2 play completely flipped the script entirely. They were looking on the back foot completely, and they were able to undo all of the momentum that the Silverbacks were building in that fight so quickly with that 1v2. That was the telltale nail in the coffin moment for the monkeys.
And so they'll get themselves a all-important Sunday Pug Day victory, cap your week off in the right fashion. But that's what we're talking about. I mean, a couple of back and forth pugs. We're getting no blowouts so far. Some fights aren't close, but fair enough. I feel like when you're jumping into a call, maybe for the first time with some new players, you don't know exactly what they're playing. Got to figure out how to play around their comps, like the flamethrower that Nye was rocking 2 games ago, where the sniper plus BFR aim comp. I mean, fighting against a recurve bow as well always takes some adjustment time, but we're still getting back and forth pugs.
Yeah, Sunday Pug Day is all about experimentation. It's all about having fun, trying out new stuff. You know, it's high tempo, but it's not high stakes. So if you want to mess about, feel free to mess about. If you guys have suggestions, by the way, for any of these players with their loadouts, if there's a weapon you want to see or a gadget, let us know in the chat. We would love to see that. Maybe even, you know, convince one of these players to do it for us, perhaps, Mr. Bepic. But I'm curious, actually, as we load up this next match, is there one gadget in particular for you that you feel has maybe untapped potential people are sleeping on?
Ooh, untapped potential is a good question. Maybe the nullifier. I think that's got a lot of escape potential. Like, you're caught in a bad spot, you've been saving the nullifier up, you're able to get out by kind of stunning your opponent there and give yourself that little bit of extra time to escape. That could be some untapped potential. I saw that. I think one player was using that in top 16 on broadcast yesterday. I forget who it was, but they used that in that exact fashion. I was like, okay, that actually has some potential. Maybe too specific to be rocking all the time with some of the more versatile gadgets that you'd want to have for escaping, like a goo grenade or something like that. But I like it when players choose a gadget like that you don't see all the time. It's refreshing, considering a game that embraces creativity like the finals does.
100%. I personally love seeing mines come out. I feel like mines are not necessarily used as much as maybe they could be. Obviously, I think they're gaining traction as some players have kind of seen some of the changes to the meta over the past few updates. But in particular, glitch mines and also gas mines seem incredibly powerful, because in cash out, there's not a lot of people running pyro grenades. There's not a lot of times you're always going to have an orange barrel on your side. That's a perfect tool to holding and stalling a cash out. Even if an enemy doesn't even step on it, you could just shoot the mine and then boom, it detonates, gas cloud. You're good to go, Mr. Bepic.
Yeah, it's also kind of good for finding positioning on your opponents as well. It goes off, you know where they're at. So I like that. I do think mines are a little underutilized. So wouldn't mind seeing someone rocking up to Sunday Pug Day with some extra ideas in the back of their head. As you gotta get good. Like, if you're going to bring those off meta choices out, you do have to get those reps in somewhere, and ranked isn't always the best spot for that. So I think Sunday Pug Day is the proper sandbox to be playing in.
Well, speaking of the sandbox, we're going back to it right now. We're jumping in at Sis Horizon, Mr. Bepic. It's going to be another beautiful 3-on-3 matchup here with some incredibly talented gamers. I'm excited to see who comes out on top. Will it be the Silverbacks? Will it be the Monkeys? Let's find out right now as we load in.
Let's. Didn't get enough Sis Horizon yesterday in the Cycle 1 top 16. Just kidding. Felt like it was all that was played, considering the randomness that was supposed to be in effect for the maps that weren't banned in cash out. But we got a lot of assists, so we'll keep it going on now in this 3v3. The Monkeys and the Silverbacks, and looks like we got a couple of returning faces in the lobby. Sansoyo now trying his hand at the heavy as he shifted from the light that he was playing earlier, and Palmito back in the lobby as well.
Yeah, C4 already detonated. The fight has begun here. That's a beautiful winch. Sansoyo opens it up beautifully, getting the first knockout of this match here. There's the second coming in. A beautiful trade to make this a 2v2, though. And now the shots are just ringing out. There's Luar getting that beautiful MP5 spray. Sansoyo, though, cleaning it up, ending that fight definitively.
All right, Sansoyo is clearly not happy with the loss that he suffered earlier in the evening. That was some nice SA shooting, cleaning up those lights like it was nothing. I mean, you give them the movement. They're supposed to be tough to hit, but for Sansoyo right there, phenomenal tracking.
Yeah, tremendous work. That's going to be a great job on Soyo's part, and of course this opens up the monkeys to plug that box and start up the first cash out. So now, of course, Silverbacks gotta come in and make this attack and get that flip going. That's easier said than done, though, of course, as right now the monkeys are setting up a little bit. They're getting some good positioning right now, and of course, scouting about for their opponents currently. Sansoyo, though, may have already been spotted out. Shots ringing out. That's currently Luar again. About half HP. Pomito also a little bit injured, but the flanks are coming in. It's going to be interesting to see how the positioning plays a big factor into this. As right now, Silverbacks all over by the point, just waiting for their moment to strike. But oh my gosh!
I was kind of ready for that. I mean, that was quick movement up by Luar to find an advanced position up top, but Kai was completely aware of what was going on. As soon as Luar jumped up above the railing, it was taken out, but still a 2-on-2 as the monkeys did end up losing Kai at the start of that fight, and I'll actually get a full reset here. It seems like we'll get a defib res in, but pulling someone into the grasp of Pomito. That's Sansoyo that was grabbed, actually, as he is down. Luar lost as well. And so, still straight up 2v2. The monkeys and the Silverbacks staying even, but Magnetic all alone here. Dome shield up for Pomito, but Magnetic gets out and is stalling for time. As the cash out is still on the monkeys' side. They will control the objective for now, but this should be a steal.
Love to see the res coming in on Magnetic. The C4 does go down. That buys them enough time to get that stall in, but they're going to have to pounce once more. Again, it's currently 3v2. Make that 2v2, though, as Pomito goes down. Sansoyo reloading the SA-12, ready for action here in just a moment. If the Silverbacks don't make their move now, they are done for. They are not going to be getting this box here. The shots raining out from Luar, trying to get an elimination desperately, but it's not going to be enough here as they're able to dash away, and monkeys walk away with the first little bit of cash.
Great stall when all was looking lost. So the Silverbacks, I thought, had a guaranteed flip. Monkeys pull a stall from out of nowhere. So that's good awareness. Ends up getting them the first cash out here. And as we do get a break in the action, I do want to reference Twitch chat real quick. Joe Wosif in chat apologizing for trying to experiment with light. And Joe, there is no need for apologies for experimenting on Sunday Pug Day. That is the theme of the evening. So everyone, try something new tonight. Whether you're playing a medium that you're used to playing, change one thing about your kit, or try a new weapon, something like that. That's what we're trying to do here on Sunday Pug Day.
Joe, give us a sword next match, please. We'd love to see it. Give us a dagger or something. Don't give us the M11 that Seb is using. Unfortunately, that did not help out Seb in that fight as they were winched into their imminent death, bringing this to a 2v3 now. Pomito bringing out some shots as well. Full RPG! Oh my gosh! And now it's just... Oh my goodness, Pomito left alone here to fend for himself. It's not going to be enough. Monkeys walking away with the money yet again.
Nothing like a Sunday evening family dinner. A couple of players eating an RPG together. That is tough to stomach. Silverbacks losing that fight heftily as the monkeys use a grand RPG from Sansoyo to cap off another strong fight. They'll get the plug as well in the second cash out of this 3v3, but in come the Silverbacks, quickly respawning, and an RPG looks destined for a pink player.
Something tells me the Silverbacks are not too happy about what just happened to them, as we do see Pomito blocking that shot. Unfortunately, their RPG blocked as well. Sansoyo, though, taken out with that melee. The winch was nearly there. Meanwhile, Seb spraying like crazy. Magnetic is also gone. It's currently a 1v3 situation. A perfect opportunity for them to get a flip here.
Kai's going to stick to full res now, but actually get peppered down a little bit. Pressured by Seb up the top of the rooftops, but still the flip is found. The Silverbacks looking for a way back in here. Pomito, that mesh shield is stomaching a lot of bullets, so that has to back off and reload. Some more space is given up to the Silverbacks to push in now, though. Monkeys are holding strong, looking decent in the health bar department, but Silverbacks retreating will heal up themselves, and this fight is getting down to the wire.
Beautiful flank shot as well from Seb there, hiding in the staircase behind, getting some good damage, but unfortunately it's not enough. The steal is going to be coming in. even though the fight got brought down to a 2v3. They're going for the move right now. Good defense, however. Homito and Seb holding it out, trying to defend this as much as they can. They do stop it, which is tremendous. But now it's currently a 1v2 with Seb all alone, trying to hold out. They get winched out. Is it enough time, Mr. Bepic? It could be over right here in just a second, and it is in the last possible second.
I doubted. I didn't think there was time there, but somehow the monkeys get the flip with a sliver of space between the circle completely filling in. Absolutely insane. I thought the Silverbacks had done enough to stall time, get us to that third cash out, but the monkeys are nothing if not entertainers.
Oh my goodness, they didn't just run away with the banana, they ran away with the whole bundle of bananas, a whole bag full of bananas. I really was not ready for that steal either. I thought it was done for, but you know what, Sansoyo held on to it. Sansoyo believed, and that's all you need sometimes in the finals, just belief, and that'll get you through enough.
You know, I am really happy for casters everywhere tonight that Sansoyo is having the evening that he is. I think he's representing us very well at the moment, top fragging that lobby, and it wasn't particularly close. I think it was 3 kills between his 8 and the next player in the lobby. So really well done, and doing it in 2 different classes as well. Played light in the first game of the evening, switching to heavy right there, and finding a lot of impact with that SA. So really nice game from Sansoyo, and he seems comfortable here on Sunday PugDay. Go figure.
Someone who's clearly versatile. They've done this before. They know what's going on. We'll have to see if Sansoyo is able to keep this momentum up, though, in the next couple matches. Will we see him again tonight? I wonder, Mr. Bepic. But we were talking about it a moment ago. The maps. You were saying Sis Horizon pops up a lot. I agree with you. I think Sis Horizon pops up a ton. I know the contestants love it. I know the players absolutely adore the map. I'm getting a little bored of Sis Horizon. You know, give me a soul every now and then, okay? What's wrong with that? Can't a guy enjoy some under construction?
I think what we should go for is an all-light lobby on Kyoto. I think that is my preferred pug format, because I mean that's why I'm always chilling in Kyoto. There's no one ever here in the comp scene. No one ever wants to be at Kyoto. We're always picking the other maps. So let's go crazy for a lobby. Do Kyoto. Everyone pick lights, so the big map is traversed a little bit sooner. I think that's the proper dose of chaos Sunday PugDay deserves.
I don't know if we'll get that. We can certainly hope. I can imagine right now it's very lonely over there in Kyoto. No one around at all, is there?
Nice and quiet. It's nice and quiet. Like it's a peaceful map. It looks beautiful. Is playing it fun? You know, I'll let everybody else decide that. But it's always nice and quiet here.
Is it fun? That's for the players to decide, quite frankly. But hey, we're going to be jumping in to our next matchup here. I already see players jumping, and I want to remind you guys, of course, if you're thinking about jumping in, it's Sunday. I have nothing going on. I have like 2 hours before school pops up, whatever. Feel free, all right? Get in here, join the Discord, hop into the queue, and you might get the chance to have your games casted right now by us.
I mean, this is the best way to fight the Sunday scaries. I think you play with friends in a great game, have a little bit of fun before the week ahead of you arrives. Makes it a little bit less daunting when you know just how fun you capped the weekend off with. But yeah, we got a big week up ahead just in general. I mean, we've got America's top 8 next weekend. I think EU top 16 as well for Cycle 1 is next weekend, if I remember the calendar correctly. But things are really ramping up in the competitive scene. So everyone needs to be getting their practice in every Sunday PugDay.
So along with PHL, they're doing their last chance qualifiers soon, I believe, too. So a lot of stuff going on. It's going to be a busy summer indeed, Mr. Bepic. I do see we are loading in. It's going to be Fanghua City again. We're going back to our very first matchup from before on that map. What do you think of Fanghua City?
I think it's a better version of Kyoto, honestly. I think the visuals are quite appealing. especially on the kind of more secluded corner of the map with the pond and the bridges. I don't know the exact call outs for it yet. I've still yet to learn them, but I think it's just a little bit more compact, so it makes it a bit more appealing. It's not too out in the open. There are areas where you can take those more drawn out, long line of sight battles, but you've got the construction area, which narrows things down, plenty of buildings to fight within. It's a nice mix, honestly, of everything. And I think despite it being the newest map, it's still appealing for comp play, which is why we see it in the comp scene and on Sunday PugDay here.
Well, let's see how things go. We do have, of course, Sansoyo back in the lobby again. They're feeling hot after that last game we just saw. They were tremendous, and already the Silverbacks very, very close to the vault. I'm sure they'll have no problem tapping that first, but of course, the rest of the team getting ready for a battle. Already on the side angle, we see the monkeys with a bow and arrow launching arrows at Kai. Unfortunately, they got damaged pretty heavily there. They had to go hide for cover. Already the fight is opening up a little bit as the rest of the squad is pulling ahead.
Both players are a different breed, but we got a minigun as well. Magis is pulling out the minigun and assisting in taking out Kai as part of First Blood. And with an HHL composition, this might be the wildest trio of comps that loadouts that we've seen from a team tonight. The monkeys in this lobby are going insane. 2 heavies, got a minigun, a bow, and unfortunately, it's not working out all that well.
Well, there's still plenty of time for them to calibrate and get things adjusted exactly to their perfect playstyle here. We haven't even gotten the first vault plugged yet, but of course, Silverback's going to have no problem getting that done in just a second here. The monkeys returning momentarily. They'll have to work harder than ever to get forward because, again, we have Kai running that M11. They're ready for action right now.
I want to see, with the more traditional composition of the Silverbacks, how the monkeys get into any sort of position to use the minigun effectively. I assume it'd be Seb trying to gain space with the bow. I already found a pick on Luar, so that will be a little bit of room to maneuver for the monkeys. But at the shacked position now, Pamido taking a bit of damage on Kai there. So Sansoyo and Kai repositioning underneath the monkeys at the moment. Maybe find a good flank spot. That red barrel could open things up if Kai elects to use it, but instead going for the rev. They want Luar back in the fight.
Sansoyo getting ready to drop things down. The stall comes in, and they've almost got their C4 ready to use, but they have that RPG prepared. They just need to fire it off to get another stall. Unfortunately, Seb does secure another elimination onto the Silverbacks here, keeping it at a 2v3, and the minigun churning up that C4, unfortunately, blowing it down again, which does stall things out a little bit, but of course, prevents the Silverbacks from using it against them. Now, of course, the fighting opening up even more with Seb getting shot at again. They've got to be so careful with a minigun in the lobby. And look at this combo. We have 2 heavies working together. We have one with mesh, the other one holding down the minigun right now. Just ready for action the moment things go. And as this stall comes in, the dome goes out. And this is where the minigun should really shine here as he holds it down, finding targets. There's one. Kai sent back to the respawn screen. It's just Luar now. And they're not able to hold it out. That's going to be a good steal for the monkeys.
A lot of damage inflicted upon the monkeys, but with 2 heavies, a lot of damage isn't always necessarily going to get you the kills. They stand tall despite eating RPGs and just about every bullet under the sun being tossed into that cash out room. They still are able to maintain the entire team. Everyone was still left standing at the end of that fight and confirmed the flip after wiping the Silverbacks. Really good recovery there. Monkeys getting back into the fight nice. Look at the tap on Vault 2 as well. They're in a pretty powerful position at the moment.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Silverbacks respond after that steal. Again, it was just moments away. 1 extra second, they may not have been able to get that flip there. Right now, both teams just kind of holding out. They're waiting. They don't want to make the first move. They don't want to make the first mistake, Mr. Pepic. They're just going to wait for the opportune moment to strike as they do see the monkeys traveling it away. They're just hiding on the rooftop right now, looking to intercept momentarily.
I don't know if you caught that, Beaver, but Seb was underneath the bridge with the cash box trying to get the gateway above it, but there wasn't enough space for the gateway to land. And so they're forced now to carry the box by hand. And so that allows Sensoyo to maybe find a pick as the monkeys look to traverse Feng Wai. And with Pamito on a sliver of HP, that should be two. Silverbacks will get it. And now Seb is all alone. Couldn't find a way to move the cash box quickly with their utility. So now forced to figure out the solution with their weaponry. And it's nearly the first. The recurve bow will confirm the kill. But Luar, seeing where this is going, gets on out of there. And I assume is sticking a rev right now.
Yeah, both players sticking reses currently, bringing the fight back up to a 2v2. And now we're basically going to reset things. It's going to be interesting. Magus does, however, get rezzed as well. It's currently 3v2. That minigun could put in serious work here. But, of course, Seb charging in with the bow and arrow targets ahead of them. Will he be able to land his shots? We'll see in a moment here. Staying on. He's chasing after this poor light. There's Luar taken out, opening up the engagement here. Now it's Kai and Sansoyo on the back foot here as they are still holding close to the vaults.
They really are playing around Seb extremely well. The monkeys are. That's more huge damage. Big assist for Seb. Pamito gets the courtesy of confirming the kill, but a lot of damage pulled in by this recurve bow. And there's your elimination. Seb, an all-star in this lobby. When you pull two heavies out in a matchup like this, you had better have a big-time damage dealer like Seb on the recurve bow hitting his shots. And that's exactly what's happening here. And you can see how much impact it has. The Silverbacks, you know, despite good position, despite playing around each other well with your two lights, if they're tanking an arrow shots, you know, per fight, one per light, that is pretty much all their health gone. And it's an easy finish for Pamito and Magis to confirm the kills and leave Sensoyo by himself. So big time compositional choices by the monkeys paying out here.
Yeah, I love the teamwork here. I love to see these compositions working together. Almost like a harmony, kind of like a well-tuned opera, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Really making things difficult here for the Silverbacks. Of course, this vault is still ongoing. And that's a first elimination from Seb. Once again, that bow and arrow so lethal as a winch comes in. Once again, Sansoyo, though, they're not having it. They really want this money here as they get a beautiful glitch to a nullify, however.
Oh.
Mr. Bepic, it's what you called. You wanted the nullifier. You're seeing it now.
And it turns what was a straight-up 2v2 into a 2v1 that the monkeys then win, and they get their second consecutive 2v1 after, I didn't catch who it was last standing, but whoever got nullified there, last player up, had to take that final one on, and the monkeys, you know, use their strength in numbers to great success. And, you know, I'm glad to see the nullifier in play. It might have just won things for the monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, there's so little time remaining here. There is a chance they could jump on and get a crazy last-second steal. We've seen it happen here before, previously on that Scissor Rising game, Mr. Bepic, but it's not going to be great. The positioning that the monkeys have right now is stellar. Pamito, though, kind of on the rotate, now finally getting the intel that they're close by. That RPG going to open things up beautifully. Sansoyo with the first elimination, however. Sadly, though, not sure if there's enough time for the Silverbacks to do anything here. That's going to be a clean 2-0 for the monkeys.
And that was a minigun covering the cash out. That's an immense coverage for the monkeys there. And so what a win for them. Proven to everyone that you do not need your standard compositions to win these pugs. And just in general in the finals. And I think we've got good teams at the top of the comp scene that show that on a weekly basis and whatever competition's going on. And here on Sunday PugDay, the monkeys doing it nicely. Minigun, recurve bow, double heavy, whatever the odd choice was, they really did make the most of it.
Yeah, you were talking about Seb. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Wow, MVP indeed. 10 eliminations for their squad. They were a well-tuned engine driving things forward, and they were keeping the two heavies in check there, allowing them to do what they needed to do in that matchup. It's just so unfortunate what happened there for the Silverbacks, Mr. Bepic. They weren't able to counter that incredible strategy they have. I think we could almost say HLH versus LLH. Might be HLH all day, Mr. Bepic.
Maybe we need all heavies. That's what's the next iteration of the meta. You know, a lot of health, and you toss a BFR in there for the damage output, flamethrower for the close quarters combat. You got to probably pick your cash outs wisely, but hey, maybe that's where we're headed. More health, fewer problems for everybody competing, because obviously the two heavies right there doing a lot of good work around Seb's bow.
Yeah, I'm actually curious, Mr. Bepic, what is your main class in the finals? What do you like playing the most?
I'm a medium by trade. I'll switch
Okay.
to 93R on the lights when I am really tilted and just need the cleaner movement to de-tilt a little bit. But yeah, I'm a revolver player on medium. That's just what I picked up
Oh.
at the start when I started playing it back in 2024, and never gave it up.
You must be perfectly tuned for headshots then, because that thing is lethal against
That's what I tell my
any player.
teammates. Yeah, that's what I tell them to let them let me play revolver. But
And then you get those headshots, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Mr. Bepic, you would never lie on the internet. No one lies on the internet, of course.
Oh, not on Sunday PugDay. It's a holy day.
Yeah. Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself, quite frankly. Well, I'm actually learning medium right now. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Nice.
Because, listen, I've been inspired a little bit, Mr. Bepic, watching all of the pro games going on.
Yeah.
Me and some friends were thinking about making an attempt for the TGM, all right, in Cycle 2 of the Open Series. We'll see what happens. I have been designated the medium, so I'm trying to learn, good positioning overall, good movement, when to heal, when not to heal, when to just shoot. Figuring it out. So if you have any pointers, you let me know, Mr. Bepic.
Yeah, I'm not the one to ask for pointers. I can assure you that. Some of the guys that are sticking around with medium in what's kind of becoming an HLL meta at the top of the comp scene right now, those would be the guys to look for, because I think we've seen a lot of lethal repeaters in at the very top of the comp scene this season, and it really does impress me with how weak comparatively to how medium has been in the past that it is right now. The guys that have really specialized with the healing beam and sticking with that when H+ Infuser provides such good utility on the light class. I think if you specialize in medium and you're still able to keep it viable in the current meta, like you've got some deep bags of tricks.
Those medium mains out there, we salute you, okay? Because you are the glue that keeps everything running, quite frankly. Mr. Bepic, we are jumping in for another incredible game, though, on Sunday PugDay. It's going to be Nozomi Citadel that we're jumping into here in a moment.
All right, I'm all for it. Do we have any more familiar faces in the lobby right now, Beaver?
I believe I saw Icy Hyper jumping in, who, if I'm not mistaken, actually let Chat pick their loadout. So we're going to see what ended up going out with that. Currently, right now, I see Icy Hyper, Seb, and Nye the Hunter as one combined unit. And it looks like we have two bows on this team for the Silverbacks.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let me see what chat kind of suggested for Icy Hyper. They chose the spear for them. Seb suggested the dagger, unless Icy Hyper is on Seb's team. So a bit of a selfish stipulation coming out of Seb right there. But let's see what the final choice was. We got Nye back in the lobby, so their flamethrower making a reappearance alongside the lights of Icy Hyper and Seb. So I'm really interested to see the weapon choices on the Silverback side, but on the Monkey's end, looking like a pretty standard HML.
Beautiful glitch to open things up from the Monkeys there, securing the first elimination. Apples with the 93R getting that kill. It's Luar searching for targets as well. They've got the glitch barrel, not exactly providing the disruption they were hoping for, and they go down as well to Seb. It's currently a 2v1, but both members of the Silverback are critically low.
Okay.
That it could be completely over. Nye the Hunter has to run, but it's not enough. Apples securing that team fight, and they'll be able to get reses and move that money.
See, that's why I play 93R on light when I'm tilted, because it feels so good just to be able to be sliding around and jumping and still land your shots, especially when your opponents are low on health like they were right there. That's a really nice cleanup at the end of a tight fight. Silverbacks had that for a second. The bow of Seb has continued to be the hottest ticket weapon on Sunday Pug Day, but kind of countered by Apples at the very end of that fight. Cheeky 1v2, although it was kind of more like a 1v half considering the health bars. Apples was in a good spot and will pay some penance early on as they're taken out for the Silverbacks' first blood.
Yeah, right now the two lights working in tandem here to secure eliminations. Just Luar left standing here in this fight for the Monkeys. They put down that beautiful barricade to provide a little bit of cover and escape, but Seb is still hunting right now, and they've got to be extra careful to avoid a full-on elimination. Currently, the Silverbacks able to get that res as well, bringing it up to a 3v1. Coins are about to come in, though. It's just another moment here that Luar has to live, and Luar is able to last longer than ever. They do secure an elimination, but it's not enough. Seb coming in from the rear, and they're able to get that trade out. Oh my goodness, currently 2v2 right now, Mr. Pepic.
Well, shout out Icy Hyper for being bait right there for Seb's bow spam to start connecting, but Seb is a need bait to find his prey. Hunter is out on the Zombie Citadel, and that will, just like that, end Monkey's hopes of getting this flip, as they'll have to watch for the spectator camera. Another 20 seconds, feels like they just respawn, and as soon as they step foot into the theater of war, they are popped completely. Seb is on fire.
Seb doing an incredible job. Icy Hyper, though, able to hang in there and kind of tag along with Seb. I think the duo is kind of working excellently here. But it's so unfortunate what happened to the Monkeys there. They just got so staggered with their coins and the respawns that it just was never a full-on team fight for them, and they're going to have no chance of getting this money here. Just got to wait for the time to be wasted. They're already rotating out, though. Over to the next vault. We're going to see who ends up getting the tap first, as right now the Monkeys really, really close to where the vault spawned.
I do have to say, because we haven't mentioned it yet on broadcast, but Icy Hyper did go with the daggers, even though he's on Seb's team. If you look in Twitch chat, the order of operations was Icy Hyper asking what to play. He completely vetoed the spear suggestion. No one wants to play spear. And then took Seb's suggestion and flipped it on him, saying, dagger only on Seb's team. Got it. So shout out Icy Hyper for sticking to his guns and making Seb's life a little bit harder. But hey, they're still winning, and now they're fully engaging. This is aggressive from the Silverbacks, but Icy Hyper's getting it done. Finds a kill with the daggers, and now it's onto Seb's bow to try and confirm the wipe. But looks like Apples will be able to get out alive. Finds Icy Hyper. Turns quickly onto Seb, but will continue to use cover to their advantage. Won't give Seb's crosshairs a head to shoot at until he pops up the stairs and he finds him. Can't land that final arrow until now. Seb is too clean with it.
Yeah, I really thought Apples was going to have it there for a second with that beautiful glitch they threw in, but Seb, the bow and arrow is just too lethal. There's no tech required to fire a bow and arrow. If you can pull your handbag, you can fire an arrow. And Seb is showing us just how much they can move their hands. But right now, hey, Silverbacks moving ahead with that money. It's going to be the Monkeys respawning in from behind, already shooting out at Nye the Hunter. And they're not able to do anything about that, of course, with the flamethrower. They have 0-0 range, but the plug comes in regardless. Now it's a matter of finding out whether the Monkeys can truly go bananas here and get a steal.
They have to. Seb's already doing it. He's the king of the bananas at the moment. The Monkeys have to find a way back into this 3-on-3. Haven't had a ton of footing in these fights since the opening foray. And you can see him targeting Seb already, going right for him. Whether that's a good decision or a bad decision, I think we'll let Apple's death do the talking. Button has softened Seb up. Was healed by Icy Hyper. And now to the side, Nye will show face. And the Monkeys are just getting caught choosing between too many targets. That's the issue right now. Players popping up everywhere, but they can't decide where to connect their fire. And so the Silverbacks use those distractions of everybody popping up from every which way to their advantage. And again, we'll wipe the Monkeys.
I just want to say that was a crazy trade between Nye the Hunter and then I believe Apples there at that final little moment of that team fight. The RPG landing on Apples, and then right before he fully exploded, firing off the 93R to kill Nye the Hunter. That was absolute cinema. But already the Monkeys are back, Mr. Pepic, and they are looking for revenge. If they do not get this money, they are out of the running for this match, of course. Seb, they do get a nice opening shot as Seb is brought down to about half HP, and I love the positioning. They're getting really aggressive here, moving in closer and closer into the building. From behind, though, Nye the Hunter spraying with the flamethrower. There goes one elimination already on your boy. There goes a second from Icy Hyper. Apple's able to trade it out, though, on 93R, but Seb coming in from behind and getting that bow and arrow kill. It's going to be another amazing 2-0 sweep in this matchup.
Started to go for the increase of the support score, but then I think realized that this is very much over. Seb, a big reason, probably the biggest reason why this was such a dominant win for the Silverbacks. Looked exceptionally strong, and even with the interesting weapon choices of the daggers, the bow, plus flamethrower, the Silverbacks still make it work, playing around each other nicely, and the Monkeys had a very tough time, even starting fights off on the right foot. Couldn't pick the right angles to engage with, as it always felt like they were getting chunked out by a dagger or a bow or something being tossed at their heads, and the Silverbacks just always were starting out on the front foot.
We had a conversation a few moments ago about this. We were talking about mediums, of course. The medium for the Monkeys, unfortunately, getting 0 eliminations there. I feel like they were targeted heavily throughout this matchup here. Of course, the medium, one of the strongest players in terms of keeping your team alive there with that defib. So it's not a surprise necessarily that the Silverbacks wanted him out of the race so much, but that has to also be a contributing factor as to why things didn't work out for the Monkeys.
It makes sense. I mean, that's kind of the linchpin of the composition with the healing and such. So if you can pop a player quickly, like the Silverbacks could in that game, then you absolutely target a guy like the medium. So really well executed play there, and that's that Pug. Seb is on fire right now, back-to-back strong games, 10 in the game 2 games ago, and then 8 right there. Close to topping the scoreboard. So really impressive. Seb's kind of taken over on Sunday PugDay. But still, Icy Hyper spiting him with the dagger choices, still performing well, which I do like to see.
Hey, tremendous work to everybody on the Silverbacks for that matchup. We already have another one loading up already. Can you believe it, Mr. Bepic? They are just jumping in. They're diving in. They cannot wait to play today. And we have some incredible players. We have Joe Wosif returning. I did not get a chance to see all the names, but I know for a fact Joe Wosif representing the Silverbacks today. Oh boy. As the Monkeys would say, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Okay?
Well said. Very well said, Beaver. I'm glad to see Joe Wosif back. Was apologizing earlier for their performance in Twitch chat, which we took and tossed out the window. Nothing wrong with experimenting in these Pug games. So we'll see what Joe pulls out here. If it's more standard, or if they're going to stick with the experimenting, as they were trying light out for the first time earlier. And so we'll get to watch how Joe Wosif looks to recover from that performance earlier live on broadcast. But I'm glad they don't keep their head down, so they pick that chin up, get right back on the horse, and we'll join a new team to have some impact. But here we go again. Silverbacks and Monkeys just won't quit.
Oh boy, the Silverbacks, by the way, triple heavy for the Silverbacks.
That's what I'm talking about.
And a minigun. So you're just having a great day, aren't you, Mr. Bepic? You're getting everything you want.
Yes, all the health in the lobby. What was that? 1,050 combined HP now on the Silverbacks. I think that makes sense if they're the Silverbacks, considering the size of their mascot. But okay, we got barrel sawed off here, and the back lines can deal a lot of damage if you can actually get the shots out. Zax misses their first couple of shots and is caught reloading. The Silverbacks starting off strong.
Mr. Bepic, I looked away for 1 second. I look back. The Monkeys are dead. They're just gone already. The triple heavy team, with that damage output and their sheer health, might be too much for the Monkeys to handle today. We'll have to see if they can come back stronger than ever, as they already have respawned. The vaults just now finally popping here. I actually think the double barrel might be a great play, though, for the Monkeys here. If they can find the position, if they can sneak up behind one of these heavies, that would be a great opening play to be able to quickly turn this into a 2v3.
What Zax tried to do in that last fight, but just didn't nail the shot. So they were this close, the Monkeys were, turning the tides right there. You can see it's in them, but they'll have to get back into the fights, and Palmito's trying to mesh shield up, will allow them to jump in without losing too much health. But there we go, Palmito with an RPG. That's not a ton of damage, though. SA-12 will. Waz has almost been taken out. It's out for a moment, gateways away, and does escape. How does Waz get out of there?
I have no idea. Multiple members on the Silverback. It's Ken and Waz, both incredibly low, and they somehow secure the full wipe on the monkeys there.
That's crazy. That's crazy movement from heavies. The Silverbacks using all of the 350 HP you get per player. I cannot believe Waz was able to escape. But that winch, that's kind of a hole-in-one right there. Tossing the cash out and just a little bit of debris that will offer a lot of cover for the Silverbacks. Monkeys will have to get up close and personal against the SA-12s. The Silverbacks are rocking the double winches as well. This is going to be a difficult flip.
Going to be an absolute bloodbath here. This is the thing, too, about having so many heavies in this lobby. That was one single fight, and the building is already broken in half. I mean, look at the amount of destruction caused here. We have Palmito, though, getting hit with that C4, unfortunately. That opens up the damage here. Steel Temp was made, but quickly disrupted as it drops down even further. The Nullify going in, too. Already, members of the Monkeys flaunting about there, swarming in, and that's the first elimination. Joe Wosop getting rid of Zax. And now even more shots. Palmito. It's just, you look away for a split second, it's done. There's no chance to keep up with this. They're just stomping on the poor monkeys.
That was the bloodbath that you foretold, Beaver. I mean, the monkeys, if you take one step out of line, especially being lights against a potential minigun in the composition, you just get popped. And the monkeys, if they aren't positioning perfectly, don't have a lot of avenues of attack against this Silverbacks team. Like, Triple Heavy looks goofy, but it's really working right now. It's kind of an anti-strat against the HLL that the monkeys are running. This is absurd, but it's kind of working. So how absurd really is it?
Hopefully we can see some glitches come in, as we already saw one grenade go out that causes a good amount of disruption again on the Silverbacks. That's going to be key to them winning some of these fights here. Already the opening from Zax, but unfortunately traded out by Ken, making this a 2v2. Brilliant winch as well, as Ken secures that one, and just one left, and with their teammate there, Palmito stands no chance.
Wow, another melt. Clean winches too. Like we've seen effective team play, playing around each other, effective aiming with the guns, with the SA-12 of Ken, but right there showing off the aiming prowess with the winch as well. You only get one shot every once in a while with the winch, so you got to make sure you're hitting your shots with it as well. And turn the fight at the very end. Now showing off a little bit of stair attack. I like it, Ken.
Excellent work from the Silverbacks here. One more box away to victory as they stack up some orange barrels. Good positioning too. They're getting right in behind one of the members of the Livewires here, but it's not enough. Beautiful winch there. On to Ken. They get nullified, however. Now it's Waz here with that minigun. Has multiple enemies pull up from behind. It's churning like crazy, and it's just absolute death and carnage here in Nozomi Citadel.
Okay, yeah, showing he can hit walls and stairs and everything in his path. The minigun melting. I mean, he started off the fight with that dome shield getting popped up, and then it was quickly decimated by the minigun of Waz, and then followed suit the health bars of the monkeys. This minigun is looking strong at the moment. All 300 bullets being used to great success, even in celebration, painting the place with lead. So the monkeys will have one more opportunity to get back in this game, but as it stands right now, it has been an exceptionally difficult game to find any footing in. But hey, this pick could actually do wonders. The 1v3 that Ken was caught in, but is Elmo ready for this flank coming around? Really needs to get out of dodge. You are not going to beat two heavies with the sawed-off shotgun. Come on now.
RPG seals the deal too, and that's a beautiful double from Joe Wosop. Unfortunately, the monkeys not looking too good. I think it is all said and done here, especially with the winches that they're utilizing. Joe Wosop sacrificing his life just to flaunt a little bit and prove that they can do whatever they want in this matchup. Monkeys can't be too happy after this one.
No, they shouldn't be happy with that at all. They just got clowned on by 3 heavies, and that's no good. This is one of those games where now you go into the next queue and you're like, okay, maybe we should do all 3 heavies. But really, really tough game for the Monkeys. They just got anti-stratted pretty much. The minigun melted those lights, melted the dome shields that they tried to use to get into those fights. Nothing was working against the minigun of Ken, the strong health bars, the winches as well, Silverbacks. It's a masterclass on how to play the heavy class right there.
100%. I mean, their damage output and what they were able to achieve, really, you can look at the scoreboard and you can kind of see the damage it did. The Monkeys only able to get 2 total eliminations, and both of them were from Zax with the double barrel, potentially all using invis to try and sneak up behind them. They really just had this entire match on lock, didn't they, Mr. Epic?
Yeah, that might be the most one-sided scoreboard you'll see all night. I mean, so tough to play in that matchup. You know, you can't even blame them. Like, the Monkeys did not know what they were getting into when they queued for that game, unfortunately. So they'll recover. There's still plenty of time left. We still got about 45 minutes left of Sunday PugDay. So they got time to jump back in the queue and get some redemption on whatever class they choose. But that's crazy. But the minigun's been actually pretty good tonight. You don't see that a lot in more competitive play. But honestly, I'm starting to change my tune on it.
Minigun's been great. I see a lot of people use it in Point Break and the more casual game modes just because of the sheer, damage output it provides. But of course, you're basically a turret when firing it, so it really is positional. If you have a team, again, much like the flamethrower, if you have a team built around it, it can work wonders, but one little slip up and you're basically done for. That's the issue with the minigun.
Don't slip up. That's what Ken was doing right there. No slip. Oh, until the end. Ken actually did get caught out in a 1v3. That was nice by the Monkeys. They found a pick to maybe switch things around, but I mean, sawed off against 2 heavies. That's not going to work, unfortunately. So just out-comped right there. Joe Wosif retiring on a high note. He's dipping out now. We'll see you, Joe. That was a fun game for your last one, but still, we got plenty of participants in Sunday PugDay keeping us rolling. These have been like rapid fire pugs on stream. I was wondering kind of like the quantity of people that be showing up for season 2 of Sunday PugDay, but man, as the Ape Squad community showed up tonight.
People love Sundays. People love Pug Days. When you combine them together, what could go wrong? People love this. I don't blame them because we get to have a good time casting over it too. And already, like you said, they've been going quick. Guess what? We have another game happening right now, and it's going to be on Fortune Stadium, Mr. Bepic.
Nice.
And we already have some of the elite players from last game trying to return and get revenge. We have Zax in particular. Again, the only member of the Monkeys last game able to secure any eliminations. Will they turn the tides here for their team?
I believe in the redemption here. Zax has it. This was a redemption queue for sure. And Zesty Moose, I see you asking how you join the Sunday PugDay. Join the Ape Squad Discord. I'm sure there's a link for it somewhere if you're not already in it. But join the Discord and queue up in the PugDay channel. So you'll figure it out once you're in the Discord. There we go. Thank you, Elmo, or you worship Elmo, unnamed worshiper of Elmo, for linking the Discord. But let's lock back in. We got some familiar faces. Everybody's a returner in this lobby. We got Waz, was putting highlight reel plays together last game. We got Zax as well, still rocking the heavy. Were they the heavy? No, they were
a light.
What they were. They were a light. See, we had so many heavies in the last lobby. I just thought everyone was a heavy.
Understandable. For a second, I thought they were going to go triple light in this matchup here, the Silverbacks, but no, last second, Zax does decide, you know what? Let's not do double barrel again. Let's just go ahead and pull out the heavy. The fighting has already begun. Icy Hyper here, utilizing the throwing knives. Meanwhile, Waz chasing after with the double barrel here too, not exactly able to land that elimination. Going in though, a beautiful nullify on that member. And now Ken is in trouble there as they get unnulled and just immediately eliminated. And Palmito is left standing on the Monkeys. Has the high ground currently, dropping down. The vault just now getting tapped. Beautiful damage put out on Zax. second elimination coming in. Will our friend Pomito be able to clean things up?
The shots. Waz is putting a tough one on one, but bursts through the double doors and ends up nullifying Pomito. But that's just buying time for Apples and Ken to get back in this fight, which they very quickly will. Waz getting up and out of there. Invisible on the staircase. Will keep his life, and that will buy time for Icy Hyper to get back into the fight. But now they are alone in the fight. Zach should be able to coin here. We'll see what the play is for the Silverbacks, but this is very much a victory for the Monkeys.
Yeah, right now, looks like Ken searching as to where Icy Hyper went off to. In a moment, he might hear the res sound effect kick in, because we know Icy Hyper did manage to pick up a body. The res not exactly coming through yet. That was a long res. That took a moment. Maybe he was waiting for all of the members of the Monkeys to leave before doing it. Safely get that res so no one hears him. But now the cash out has begun. And already Icy Hyper in trouble. That's the first elimination onto the members of the Silverbacks. Not what you want to see
they're rezzing for so long. And then as soon as they start fighting again, they get popped. That's just unfair. All right. Well, it's a slow fight. I mean, we got that pick, but could be slowed down. Zach can take the C4 off of the cash out station and get away with his life. Tell the tale now. And there's some of the mines you were looking for earlier, Beaver. Zach's using it to great success.
Love to see the mines come out. Beautiful for defense, but of course, not great when a steal is coming out and they're not stepping on it. There's the pounce we see from Pomito jumping in with that dome shield. Ken coming in with that H infuse too, keeping Pomito alive just a little bit longer. And now the steal attempt is made. Waz, he's the last one standing as they come in from behind. They nearly get the elimination, but it doesn't work out, and they gateway to escape. But of course, Ken in close pursuit. They do not want to let Waz get away with this.
Gotta hand it to the Silverbacks. They are very good at getting out with their lives, but the Monkeys are pretty good at hunting down the first couple of players. Lost again, nullifying to get out, just waiting for that around the corner. I love a good nullifier play. It's just so goofy. There's something so inherently funny about thinking you're about to play the game, the finals, and then all of a sudden you're not.
Actually, you are not allowed to do anything, says my nullifier. I apologize. But here we are, the final few moments of this cash, and of course, Silverbacks still have maybe a sliver of a chance, but unfortunately, that's degrading significantly as Pomito gets that elimination. The steal attempt is coming out, however. It's going to be up to the Silverbacks to keep that going. They don't, however. The Monkeys get that stall. Ken with the 93R, and Waz just going in for the res instead.
You know, get out with his life. This is a 1v2. He wants to have a whole lot of health, but still, a wipe here could do a little bit for the Silverbacks in setting up around that next vault. So they will get the full team wipe. Okay, Silverbacks up and at him. So they'll send Waz off for the box, and looks like Zax will res Icy Hyper. And now, even though the Monkeys have a lead, the Silverbacks will be able to at least set themselves up for this next fight with a little bit more strong footing.
I'm a little bit afraid, of course, for Waz right now as they are separated from the remainder of their team. It was, of course, Zax getting a res onto Icy Hyper, and Icy Hyper,
nice.
They've got to regroup here in a moment as the live wires say the Monkeys are very, very close to Waz. As Waz is not careful, he could get caught out here in just a moment as the box does finally rotate through. We see good old Apples tearing up a little explosive barrel there. They do not like barrels, apparently.
I don't know if you caught as well. The Silverbacks having a little bit of fun with the goo barrels. I think this is a goofy barrel game for everyone on all parts. But hey, Silverbacks, you know, slow to get to the box, but they eventually get there, get the plug as well. But in come the Monkeys, look strong in these team fights, but at least playing a player up. And Waz gets picked. That will be the case. Ken confirms it. So 3v2 now. Monkeys have this fight in their favor already.
Wow, brilliant elimination though. We see good old Icy Hyper going crazy with the throwing knives. Ken though with the 93R reversing the script. He's saying no to the throwing knives. Bullets are better, and that is a good elimination. And they're going to be able to get the steal with no problem now. 15 seconds for the Silverbacks to respawn here. As Apples, unfortunately, had a little bit of an error. It looks like they wanted to get that res, maybe just get full HP right away. There we go.
Back up for what could be the final fight of this pug as the Silverbacks have their own backs against up the wall now. Monkey's in a good spot, but that gateway not doing any favors for Icy Hyper. Going to be late to this fight, and already we see an engage. Zax went in quickly. The comms are not on point. This does look like a pug for the Silverbacks. Not on the same page of the book, and now the Monkeys have completely outdone them, with Waz just sitting here in the corner chilling, as it seems like the Monkeys have confirmed their win.
Yeah, Waz just waiting, see if anybody bites. Fishing for an elimination, unfortunately, does not come out. He's just chasing in. He wants something for his troubles here. There's absolutely no chance, unfortunately, of him grabbing onto the box and stealing that money, keeping the Silverbacks in the game, but he wants something. Alas, he does get it. Pamido, hey, finds himself taken out by the Waz, but that's going to be a good win by the Monkeys. Excellent job to the Monkeys.
Very clean all around. It felt like they punished every single time the Silverbacks stepped out of line and weren't properly playing around each other. And those early picks in fights set the Monkeys up for a lot of success. We saw a lot of 1v1, 2v2s, but it always felt like whatever stage of the fight we were at, the Monkeys had some sort of upper hand, whether it was a health bar advantage or a full player advantage. The Monkeys did very well to get that way. I mean, all three of them have been playing cleanly tonight on their separate pug teams. We've watched, I think, Ken, Pamido, and Apples all have very strong showings in different pugs, and so you put them all on a team. I think that was already a recipe for success.
100%. You said it better than I could have. Unfortunately, things just didn't work out for the Silverbacks. It happens, quite frankly. Sometimes things go wrong, but I will say that miscommunication, the early pounce by the Silverbacks when there was one member all alone and the rest of the team was not there, that did seal the deal for their dreams of keeping the match going.
They had time. They could have set up for a full three-man push, and it's not like that's an easy spot to hold for the Monkeys. There's a lot of different angles that Silverbacks could have taken to attack, but Icy Hyper just fell behind and unfortunately got left behind. That's the Pirates code that we saw the Silverbacks keeping to their own detriment, as I left a teammate behind, and the Monkeys punished every little mistake like that in that matchup.
Well, for the Monkeys, it was all for one and one for all. Unfortunately, Silverbacks get nothing, tragically. But of course, there's still time for things to turn around. The Silverbacks, they could come back in this next game. I believe in the Silverbacks. I think we're going to see a win from the Silverbacks this time. All right, Monkeys have had their time in the spotlight. It's time for the Silverbacks to take over, Mr. Bepic.
Yeah, we should have been keeping track. Do we know what the records of both teams are tonight? Because I think it's been a pretty good split, if my memory serves me correctly. Probably got to be close to 50-50, as everyone has contributed to both sides of the Monkey Isle, whether it is just the general Monkeys or if it's the gorilla side of things. But yeah, we'll hopefully get some redemption. Do we know who's playing on the other side yet? Has the next lobby been created?
I do not currently have that information, but I'm sure in just a moment we'll find out, of course. Either way, it's going to be electric, Mr. Bepic, as we're going to be seeing some incredible players. Again, regardless of your skill level, if you're brand new to the game, if you're really, really into it, if you're a pro level, you are welcome to jump in to these Sunday Pug Days. You don't need to be with a full team either. You can just come as a solo. We welcome everybody to jump in and get themselves casted potentially, but we're going to be loading in just a little bit, of course, Mr. Bepic. We're going to find out who's in our game, who's going to be the lucky ones to be casted, because there's games going on that aren't casted. I want to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, the queue is always popping on Sundays, whether it's in a streamed lobby or not. And SofaSpear saying in chat they're kind of nervous to queue. The first time they've ever been super competitive. This is the place for that. Just like a little taste of competitive, but it's also super fun. Like you're in a lobby where you could see a triple heavy or a triple light or a flamethrower or daggers plus a bow. This is a place for a lot of fun. I think it's a whole lot more fun than it is super competitive. So welcome to Sunday Pug Day. You should absolutely be queuing.
Well, here we are, Mr. Bepic. Another game here on Sunday Pug Day. Monkeys versus Silverbacks. It's going to be on Sis Horizon, too. And the Silverbacks, Sansoyo, Louis Boulin, and ya boy. That's a great trio to see. I absolutely love that, Mr. Bepic. But, of course, the Monkeys, no push-ups there either. We have I Worship Elmo. We have Zest, and also Waz returning to the fray. And already, the fighting has begun. We see Louis Boulin getting some shots in. Unfortunately, the heals do come out. The Monkeys not able to capitalize on that damage output from that sniper rifle. And now we're kind of just stagnant. Sansoyo, though, getting a big hit taken. They're currently a light. We saw them earlier on heavy. They've got to be very, very careful. But there's the shot we were just worried about. Taking Sansoyo out, making it a 2v3, Mr.
We got a MLL on the monkey side that they're using to a lot of success here. He was with the sniper rifle, finding a couple of big kills, taking Sansoyo out a couple of times right there. And the Monkeys will cap off this first fight with a massive W. Still have 2 players left standing. The Waz was standing by a little sliver of HP, but even just 1 bit of HP can do a whole lot for a team. And for the Monkeys, it will get everybody back up and setting up for this first cash out fight.
That was a good fight overall, though, by the Silverbacks. I think they'll come back stronger in this next matchup here as they charge over towards the cash out. However, beautiful setup by the Monkeys with that goo. They're able to kind of hold things down. They have a good angle as the Silverbacks now required to rotate in through the building in the low ground. They can't take advantage of the height here, but a flank coming in from the side. Did I Worship Elmo spot that? Potentially, yes, as they're rotating over to get that angle. They definitely know something's afoot.
I think they've communicated that as well, as we've seen Zesty Moose move over as well, contesting Sansoyo, but still almost gets caught out. It's one thing to know about the flank. It's a whole other to deal with a player like Sansoyo, who has been on point tonight. Waz being pulled into the fights, got grappled to his death, and the Monkeys have quickly lost numbers. The Silverbacks moving in with a ferocity. And Zesty Moose is the only player left standing, and that light health bar will quickly evaporate as the Silverbacks will gain control.
The Monkeys maybe a little bit too concerned about that flank angle there. They didn't even realize what was happening at the cash out. Unfortunately, that money was stolen, but they managed to launch it completely out of the building. That's going to give them a good angle to defend from here, but of course, could be a possible chance for the Monkeys to steal from indoors as well as one of their members, I believe. Actually, I'm incorrect. I thought one of them was a heavy. They are not. So, not going to be able to use the winch to pull it back into the building, but they are going to be TPing over with that gateway. They're inside already. Shots raining out. Beautiful elimination on the Silverbacks there. Monkeys not happy about that steal. They're not having it one bit here, but they've got more work to do with Louis Boulin getting shot from behind now, too. Almost eliminated. Sadly, the 2v2 comes in. The goo, though, for the stall. Will this be enough, Mr. Bepic? It is! The Monkeys get an excellent flip, and they walk away with the first box.
And it was that flank from behind that did it. It baited the RPG out of Louis Boulin. And because he didn't have the long-range weapon and that goo wall stood up, that was plenty of coverage for the Monkeys to confirm the steal. So really savvy play. As they sent a guy from behind to bait the firepower and utility out of the Silverbacks that could not be used to stop the steal. What a grab there. They kind of stole that one away from underneath the noses of the Silverbacks. They saw what was going on, but they couldn't do anything about it.
Both teams having a little bit of a mix-up when it comes to defense there. I mean, much like the Monkeys, I feel like that one just happened out of nowhere, the steals coming in. So I feel like things are still pretty even between these two teams right now, despite the fact the Monkeys are currently up in terms of the score. I still feel like it's anyone's game here. Of course, Louis Boulin, though, brought down to about half HP. They got to be careful. Again, the Monkeys, they are shooters. Now it's a fight for control over this vault.
Monkeys have it. They will toss that cash box right out of harm's way towards the pair of cash out stations that are set up conveniently close to each other. We will navigate right into the outstretched arms of the Monkeys. Silverbacks get sent into a crossfire where Elmo gained both frags, and now Sansoyo is being hunted all by himself with just 3 bars of health. He is sent to join his teammates for the full 24 seconds of respawn timing. The Monkeys are starting to emote on him. They're feeling good.
Zesty spicing it up a little bit. Getting that last elimination onto Sansoyo, and of course now what could be the final box. is in play here. Only a few seconds, though, for the Silverbacks to respawn. Of course, we do see members of the Monkeys kind of rotating ahead to try and block spawns, and it looks like they are a little bit successful, making the Silverbacks spawn all the way back in the museum here. They've got to charge ahead. This is going to be a difficult take, but if there's anyone to lead them in, it's your boy with that FAMAS, and their heavy, of course, Louis Boulin with the RPG. We're going to see what happens here as they move in towards the box. Already Zesty has to use Goo for cover. They take a little bit of damage here, and they're distracted. They don't even know the Silverbacks made it through the remaining squadron. Sansoyo being a perfect distraction here, Mr. Pepek.
This is on Sansoyo duty at the moment, and Sansoyo's doing a great job of distracting. You're right, but still, that's a big pick. Louis Boulin down from kind of underneath cover. I wish Bevel just got that kill confirmed, as Louis got underneath the ceiling of concrete that would have protected him, but he is defibbed back to life by his teammates. Your boy doing nicely. We're falling away into his own respawn timer. Zesty Moose now. A 1v2 he does not want to take on, so it's on out of there to reset this fight, which remains a 2-on-2. Sansoyo was almost picked off. Still might yet be. It's a light fight on the bottom floor of the library, but no one ends up taking significant enough damage to sway this battle.
Yeah, this is so important right now. Time is not on their side. Silverbacks have to get a move on here. The Monkeys are doing an excellent job of just buying time and just leading them in and out of these battles, but unfortunately, it's not enough. Look at that, a beautiful elimination onto a member of the Silverback. That was Louis Boulin. Your boy is all that's left, and there's not enough time for any sort of steal to come through. It's going to be another 2-0 sweep for the Monkeys here today.
You know, as far as 2-0 sweeps go, I mean, if you take into account how that first cash out went, it was pretty close. That last second steal in the face of the Silverbacks, too. They didn't even win the fight before getting that steal. That was with orange players still standing. But second fight, a little bit more controlled by the Monkeys. It was drawn out. We didn't have any wipes there, but the Monkeys did so well to zone the Silverbacks apart, split them up, make sure Sansoyo wasn't the X factor for his team that he wanted to be, and confirm the clean 2-0.
I really do think, though, that was a very close matchup. I think, depending on positioning, that could have gone a much different way. I was almost certain for a moment that the Silverbacks were going to be successful in getting that steal, but unfortunately, Monkeys coming in with that beautiful defense. Really good job roping them around, keeping them on their toes, and not able to really make any sort of definitive play there. That's what I love to see out of the Monkeys. And of course, our friend Waz with that 7 eliminations there, leading the charge on the Monkeys.
Talking about, Waz has found a lot of good impact moments tonight. I mean, that 1v2 earlier to confirm a win for his team. Now top fragging in a very team-heavy battle for the Monkeys. I think that was a pretty back and forth, full 3-on-3. Everyone was playing around each other nicely. Felt like the comms were on point, but the Monkeys did well to, as a unit, push through the front lines of the Silverbacks and get another win. We're still waiting on that Silverbacks redemption game, as they've lost a couple consecutively now.
Silverbacks, I'm still rooting for them. I think it can happen. Of course, if Waz is on the Silverbacks, I think it's guaranteed to happen. Okay, yeah. Waz, like you mentioned, bringing a lot of value to each squadron that joins Sunday PugDay. But we'll see what happens, of course. We have players jumping into these queues. Things are getting lined up as we speak. We're just waiting to hear some news on what it's going to be.
Yeah, and only about 20 minutes left of Sunday PugDay as well. So for those that do get put on stream or put into the Pugs that are off broadcast, you got to start making the most of it, because you've only got a few more before you're stuck back and ranked for another week until next Sunday's Sunday PugDay, part of season 2. So yeah, you got to show up and show out for the broadcast right now, because there are only a few left.
Fun time is about to be over. It's back to the mines in about 30 minutes or so. But of course, Mr. Pepek, you bring up a great point. There's still plenty of time for plenty of fun. Maybe we can fit in 2 games if we get another 2-0 sweep like that. Who knows? But again, just waiting on any news. I'm curious, Mr. Pepek, is there a map that you're really excited to see potentially pop up in the next Sunday PugDay match?
What haven't we seen so far? Yeah,
no Monaco.
Kyoto, yeah, no Monaco either. That's not really a popular one in comp, it feels like, anymore. But I do love a good Monaco. Cathedral fights feed families. Yeah, I think I'd love to see a Monaco, if not a Kyoto. Like I'm still waiting on just a random Kyoto selection. Team wants to go crazy, maybe a little bit trolly, see what happens, but we've yet to see that.
You've gotten so many of your wishes tonight, Mr. Bepic. Maybe a Kyoto can be arranged. Who knows? All right. I would absolutely love a Monaco. Like you mentioned, not really played a ton in the comp scene, but I actually love it because it feels like a wild card map where really anything can happen regardless of your composition because of the mixture of long range and also interior fights that you're going to have to be dealing with. I love playing short range in most of my time playing the finals, so I feel like that's a map where I really shine, especially because shotguns are just so powerful there. Flamethrower melee weapons especially too. It's just a great map altogether for those types of weapons.
I want to see a Vegas, actually. I think Las Vegas has been one of the best maps for encouraging off-meta comp choices. And on a Pug Day especially, I think we would get to see a lot of interesting choices when it comes to utility that's geared for all of the indoor fights that Vegas lends itself to. And so, you know, I hope we get that in one of maybe the next 2 games. We'll see how long this one goes. But it is back to Sis Horizon this time around. Silverbacks and the Monkeys back at it. Got some familiar faces like Apples, Icy Hyper, Waz is back in the lobby, and they're running a triple light. Icy Hyper, Waz, and your boy all together online. I'm talking about.
You know what? I actually love that because guess what? Monkeys are known for jumping around, climbing on things, and that's what the lights do. They love to be mobile, so a triple light setup works wonders, I think, for their team name. But of course, the fighting has already begun. We see Apples on the Lewis gun trying to keep the enemies long range, but no, Icy Hyper comes in with the throwing knife, securing that elimination. Graziv now rotating in towards the box. They are split away from what's going on, and it's going to be Dippy in trouble here as they're brought down to about 1 bar of HP, but there they go, Graziv from behind with a 93R. Some good damage. That's the cleanup that Graziv needed. Silverbacks pulling away at the start of this match.
Making their presence known. I believe this is Graziv's first time tonight played on stream. I can't say I remember everybody that's played, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's their first time. And Dippy as well, rocking the turret. Definitely the first time we see a medium pulling up with the turret. So shaking things up a little bit are the Silverbacks. New faces, new specializations. I like it. As we're approaching the end of Sunday Pug Day, it's definitely time for that. Go a little wacky.
I love a good Terry at the turret, though, I have to admit. His joyful presence brings a lot to me in my day. But unfortunately, your boy, not feeling the joyful presence of Terry yet, as he's been shot by enemies instead. Beautiful elimination, though, with the revolver and the throwing knives. Now, right now, a 1v3, soon to be a 2v3, though, as Apples is able to get that res. Dippy brought back into the fray. If there's any time for Terry the turret to go wild, it's now as the nullifier comes in. Dippy, we need the turret. Where is Terry the turret, Dippy?
Well, nullifier was good, but as soon as Apples becomes unnullified, they were not dealt with, properly protected by their team, and that leaves them now in a one-on-one against Waz. It's been massive tonight, and that light against a heavy, not an even fight when it comes to the health bars, but Apples healing up, tagging Waz as well to prevent full HP from being gained, and now sticking the revive on Dippy. Hopefully they get that turret down and protect what will be a steal.
Finally, Terry the turret does get placed, and the steal will come through successfully, making Silverbacks potentially walk away here with the money. There's not a lot of time for the Monkeys to do anything here. So we'll see what happens. Already shots ringing out. Apples brought down immediately, but Icy Hyper is also gone now. And now it's a 2v2. Still going, Graziv with that 93R. I think Terry the turret, though, is going to keep the Monkeys from making any sort of push here, though, especially without a heavy, because they're going to have no shields unless they have goo grenades or they find a goo barrel. I think this is all said and done, especially as Apples comes back and they get that beautiful kill onto Icy Hyper. That's the money going into their bank account.
You know, Terry really is the perfect teammate. Like, literally just sits there and does his job, plays the objective as well, does not deter from that at all. You really have to respect the commitment to helping his team out. So shout out to Dippy for bringing the all-star fourth man into what could be the last pug of the evening. So I'm glad to see the revolver play as well. Like this is my comp right here. I used to run turret revolver before my teammates finally convinced me that the turret is no good, that I should be running healing beam and or DMATs if we're really going mobile. But yeah, I'm glad to see the turret here on Sunday PugDay. Thank you.
I'm actually curious if you played in the beta. Did that turret? If you played in the beta, yeah, 3 mediums all running turret was absolutely broken. So maybe it's good that Terry isn't as powerful as he once was, because that would be broken. But getting back on topic here. Monkeys down a member right now. Grazeev searching for targets right now with that 93R. Meanwhile, though, your boy, finally the regen comes in, but Grazeev says no to the regen and kills our poor friend. And now, unfortunately, the box still sits stagnant. No team moving it yet. They want this vault fight to really finish up and get a victor here.
Poor your boy has been caught out a couple of times at the start of important fights by Grazeev. Grazeev kind of has your boy's number right now, and that led now to the Silverbacks being able to pick where they want to go with the box. And Dippy's got it, taking it around the world, not wanting to go through the monkeys, but around them. As your boy, we'll get back up and rejoin the fight, but I'm hearing knives coming from behind. Dippy's being chased down. You gotta run, my friend, because here comes a dangerous Waz looking for blood, but he's been flashed. What a flashbang.
Oh my goodness. Completely blinded me as well. It's like I'm looking at the sun there. But the plug does come in for the Silverbacks. They are in control of this box, and with only 1 member left on the monkeys, it's going to be hard for them to do anything right now. They've got to wait for coins or go in for reses here. Seems like right now, especially with Terry on the lookout, things are firmly in their control.
Waz alone, just his knives and his nullifier. Okay, your boy's actually back up. So there goes that point. The monkeys are taking their time with it, but the Silverbacks have such a strong position at the moment. They've got mines down, C4, Terry's up and running. Apples is chilling with the Lewis gun, ready to rain lead down upon any monkey that dares try to steal cash out C. But the monkeys will still try to get in. Lights that they may be. They lose a good chunk of health, but not their lives. They escape, postpone the fight.
You know, if they have glitch grenades, this is a perfect opportunity to let them loose, because right now that would disrupt Terry, that would disrupt the mines, it would disrupt so much, but the damage comes in. Beautiful double there from the Silverbacks. RPG nearly cleans up your boy, but it's not enough. Now, a 1v2 situation with the ARN, but your boy's instead gonna die to a revolver, is what he's gonna do.
Dippy was like 1 bar HP around that corner, and if we actually see any of the monkeys go after him, I think they could have turned that fight with it being a 1v3. I think it would have been Apples left standing. I don't remember. A lot unfolded right there, but the monkeys playing on slim margins, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot of room for mistakes or even opportunities that were there that you may not have known about. And unfortunately, they find out the hard way. Silverbacks are back on track. They do get their redemption game, Beaver. That was a strong one, too. Grazeev had themselves a game.
Yeah, really well done by the Silverbacks. I knew they could do it, okay? I knew it was coming. I think it just took Terry coming out for them to seal the deal. That truly is our MVP of tonight's game. They do their job. They don't ever say you did something wrong. They're there to support you at all times. We love Terry the Turret. And we love the Silverbacks for getting that win.
And I gotta shout Dippy out. I just saw the skin after the fact. I think it was a pirate skeleton skin, rocking the pirate 6-shooter revolver skin as well. So you gotta respect the consistency for Dippy across the medium loadout right there. I appreciate you, Dippy, for jumping in and actually top fragging. I didn't realize that Dippy was providing that much utility as a sharpshooter with the revolver. I can assure you, it is hard to top frag, and Dippy did it right there for us.
Hey, the revolver, though, if you hit the head, tremendous damage, especially against a light. I mean, that'll nearly one-tap them, especially depending on whatever HP they're already at. But again, Terry star of the show. In fact, Apple's saying right now, Terry stole my kill. It was never your kill to begin with. It was actually Terry's all along. Unfortunately, Apple. But as well, Osmosis Jones in the chat. How do I join Pug Days? We are down to the last few moments of Sunday Pug Day, but you're welcome to try and get in for this final game. Join our Discord community where you will find the Sunday Pug Day channels. You can queue up, try to get into a match, and maybe even get casted here on the stream. We are down to the last few minutes, unfortunately, so we only have time for maybe one more game here. But if not, every Sunday here at Ape Squad org, they're doing customs, so feel free to come back next week if you can't make it.
And I love Dippy in chat saying that the Terry Revolve combo is super swag. You are a player after my own heart, Dippy. Thank you very much for showing out right there. And was complaining about Terry getting him every single time. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for coming into chat after a fun one, guys. And now we do have one last match. It is confirmed. We'll see who we get in a second here, but we're making the most of this Sunday Pug Day. I mean, season 2, we got to go all out.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the start. Of course, there's going to be so many more games. It's summertime, too. There's going to be so many more people available in general. I think the games are only going to get wilder from here. Wilder? Wild? It's a hard word to say for whatever reason, Mr. Pepic, but you know what I'm going for. It's going to get crazy out there.
Wild or crazy out there, or insane out there. It's fun here at Ape Squad. I mean, putting on comp tournaments, but not forgetting about the more casual side of the video game, which is easy to do when you start to focus on esports like Embark and the finals are right now. It's easy to forget what brought us all here in the first place. Just having some fun in a truly wild or game like the final. Buildings crashing down upon you. I mean, this game was made for sandbox fun moments, and I think we're seeing a lot of that tonight.
That's my favorite part as well, is just the dynamism of it all. The fact that you live in this beautiful sandbox, anything at any moment can happen. You have all these different systems working together. You can have jump pads send boxes flying that then go through gateways, and then that gets glitched, and you have it land on a bunch of mines, and it kills everybody in the lobby. It is so much fun. I'm really excited to see the loadouts we have in these final games, or should I say just singular game, right? It's only one game. Only one game. This is the big one. This is the big one then.
For all the marbles.
Yeah.
This is how we determine, like, does the trophy for Sunday Pug Day go to the Silverbacks camp or the Monkeys camp for the week? They get to keep it in their trophy cabinet before it goes up for debate again. The winner takes all in the final pug on stream. So everybody that is lucky enough to be in this upcoming lobby, you had better make the most of your opportunity on broadcast. We've had several 2-0s in a row. We started the evening out with a couple of extremely tight 3 full cash out games, but it's been 2-0 sweeps for the most part the last couple games. I think it's time we change that.
Yeah, these games have been going quick. For the final one, guys, can we break it to 3? Can we just go to 3, please? Even if you have full control, even if you're dominating, just let the other team have it, okay? We want to cast over these games as much as we can, guys.
I know Justin's in the background right now, like, no, let me go to sleep after the busy day he had yesterday, broadcasting the America's Cycle 1 matches, and now Sunday Pug Day. But no, we dictate the terms here on broadcast, and Beaver and Bepic are calling for 3.
Mr. Bepic, I'm happy to announce we're extending Sunday Pug Day another 2 hours, okay? 2 more hours of games.
Yes.
No, we won't put them through that. But Justin, Sansoyo, shout out for your work this past week at the TGM qualifier games. Very, very exciting. We load into our final one here. Silverbacks versus the Monkeys. Who will claim the trophy, Mr. Bepic?
Oh, we got Safo in the lobby. They were scared of competing earlier. But they were welcomed with open arms by the Ape Squad community, as always. And so they'll be competing for their first time on broadcast amid a lot of veterans. I mean, Waz has to have been in like 4 or 5 pugs by this point. Elmo's been in several as well. And Ken, Zesty Moose, and Luar, all returners as well. So we're in for a treat right now. Let's see how Elmo and Waz to treat Safo in their first pug tonight.
Well, we are here on Seoul under construction, which, you know what? I asked for it. I got what I wanted. I'm happy. But unfortunately, who's not happy is Ken, as they are brought down to just 43 HP. Brought into this building, but a beautiful turn of events means that he might be able to get that kill, and he does. Ken secures one. Wazwatz goes down. The trade comes in, though. Sofo with the P90 getting the finish, and Zesty now burning to death. That is not what you want to see have happen, but a quick wipe against the Monkeys, and now Silverback's going to be able to grab this box and bring it wherever they feel like.
Great looking C4 as well. Shout out I Worship Elmo for repping the Ape Squad skins. Just some of the best skins in the game. I don't think there's any real debate about that. But I can't believe as well during that fight that Waz turned the corner and was getting face checked by bullets from Ken's gun, and then went right back into him and got popped. They still won the fight, the Silverbacks did, but Ken almost got the best of them with that little cheeky corner position.
Every pro player's nightmare here. Hospital Soul, the retake. This is always very, very tricky, but the hard part is actually over for the Monkeys. They found their way into the building, so that's great. We do have one member of the Monkeys using the bow and arrow. That's going to be Luar. Searching for targets there, not exactly able to land the shots, but behind, I Worship Elmo, brought down to critically low HP. Sadly, that's an elimination for 2 on the Monkeys, however. I Worship Elmo able to stay alive there. And now it's simply up to Ken to keep things going for the Monkeys. If I were Ken, I'd be extra careful because rotating back into hospital is always the hardest part here. Just wait for those coins to come in.
He doesn't have a choice. Ken is running for his life right now. Be able to get out at the start of the first fight, and here as well, able to use his mobility to his advantage. But we didn't mention it. I don't think the Monkeys are rocking triple light right now. Oh, triple dash as well. So a lot of mobility on the Monkeys side, which is probably why Ken was able to get out so easily. But for us, that's cloaking. Sorry, I completely misread the special indicators. So going full invis are the Monkeys. It's Waz that has the dash special out of all the lights in the lobby.
Here's the pounce and the lights going crazy. They're gatewaying out to safety. That was too much. That's one simple individual to handle. That is unfortunate. They jump out of that fight, but here we are. Waz, the last person standing on the Silverbacks. It's not enough, and it's going to be the Monkeys able to get that flip with no problem. Wow, look at the steal from Ken, gooing their teammate. They want the objective score. Me personally, I would not take that.
I mean, everyone knows objective score is the true metric of how good you are at this game, because at the end of the day, you're fighting over the cash outs. That's the objective. So the amount of kills you get doesn't matter. It's all about the objectives in the finals, and Ken realizes that. I'm glad someone has their head screwed on tight.
I'm very surprised that the Silverbacks were not able to hold on to that cash out. They had a good opening in that fight. They were able to get the vault. They were able to get the plug. It seemed like the numbers were on their side too, as Ken was the only one standing, but him staying alive for long enough was able to get the coins in for their team, and that completely undid all of the hard work the Silverbacks did. Can they have a repeat, though, here against the Silverbacks, as they already seem to have 2 members down, or actually, just 2 members left. And now Ken, the rest of the Monkeys, going hog wild here.
Oh, yeah, they are. Ken jumping through the doors right before they shut. Got in before closing and got out with a kill. But from behind, oh, Elmo misses the winch. And that is going to end in disaster. Eventually going to go down. Zesty Moose going for all melee and then jumping off the building. Why not? I mean, we asked for chaos here in the final pug of the evening, and the Monkeys are giving it to us.
They're just having a little bit of fun. There's nothing wrong with that. Here they are, finally getting that plug in here in just a moment in the construction site of Seoul. Their teammates probably going to have to coin here, though, unless Ken decides, you know what, I am going to go for reses, but with the Silverbacks up, they're going to be able to come in no problem. In fact, they're really, really close. Look at them already jumping in. Ken knows this, too. Looks like Ken is rotating away and potentially heading back over towards the hospital. They're having another vault fight here.
Okay, I mean, Why not? Everyone loves a good hospital fight, right? Everyone loves that. So the Silverbacks get a second chance to fight over the cash box, and we'll take out Luar first. So that recurve bow being off the map is going to bode well for the Silverbacks' chances, but Moz being low on HP is not going to bode super well. Sako from behind, landed a couple of nice shots with the P90, but difficult to corral all those bullets, so can't confirm the kill. Monkeys get out with an extra life before it is taken away. Moose falls.
And now the only monkey remaining. They do get the res, though, onto Luar. Silverbacks able to snatch that money away, and they're going to be able to get a plug in as well. C4 also. And the winch over towards the crane. This could be a diabolical box to try and retake, depending on how the Silverbacks set up here. We'll see what happens. Rez is still coming in for the monkeys. Zesty Moose brought back into the fray. And now it's simply a matter of resetting here as Sofo brought down to halves. Clearly, I believe that's Zesty Moose on the... Oh my god! What just happened?
Was that intentional?
The crane destroyed the crane itself.
Huh. Well, I've heard that cranes build themselves, but I've never seen them destroy themselves before. That's crazy wrecking ball tech, and now the crane is all the way down at the bottom level. That's insane. And now Waz has been caught in a weird position. Ken, in a 1v1, could start to bring this fight around, but I think Waz just messing with them. Yeah, nullifies them and convinces Ken to end at the off the side of the building. So that will be likely a Silverbacks cash out if they're able to position well for this fight. But this has really become weird.
Yeah, I think Silverback's actually playing this really, really smart. I think them destroying the crane, at first I was like, wait, why would you do that to yourself when you're in control? But with triple light on the monkeys, I mean, that'd be a disgusting vantage point to try and have to worry about. So I think that was very smart of them to get rid of that. Lovely job distracting and buying out time. Again, monkeys have to dash on now if they want this cash. Probably not going to happen, though, considering the util available to the Silverbacks, of course. And yeah, look at that. Monkeys instead just searching for an opening pick, and they probably just want an ego fight here, quite frankly. We'll see what happens. Ken moves towards the box. The goo! The goo did nothing for Ken! Did you see that singular little strand of goo come out for Ken as he wanted to get that steal going? There was no cover provided, and that's going to be the Silverbacks getting that cash, no problem.
There's the winch nabbing Ken. I worship Elmo. Grabbing him and bringing Ken to his demise. Trying to make a play there at the end, but that box was always going to be the Silverbacks. And so we do get 3 cash outs here in our final pug of the evening. Exactly what you and I were hoping for, Beaver. And the Silverbacks were happy to oblige, turning the tides against the triple cloaking lights of the monkeys, which cannot be easy to do.
Keeping things interesting here on our final game. I love to see it. Interesting to note, I think the monkeys, the last time we saw a triple light, I don't think it ended too well for them. But of course, that was against a triple heavy, if I'm not mistaken. So, could be a difference in composition and just thought process. But regardless, we do see the plug come in right now. Silverbacks in control. Ken with a beautiful opening, not exactly able to land the finishing blow, but Waz was brought down very low, but now Ken's out on the back foot, and there's the elimination through the goo as well by Waz. And this is looking back. Oh no, the disrespect shown.
Oh, wow. It's not just any sort of like teabagging celebration. It is a full emote to go along with it. Chopping Ken up like he's a bunch of sushi. I like that. That's next level taunting. And now, in combination with turning the fight around, the Silverbacks have dominated this third cash out. They dropped down at the start, but they are finding a way completely back into this one. And the monkeys down a player will find an equalizer. Ken catches a head over the ledge. And so it's just Elmo and Safo at the moment, but they're still confirming the frags. Elmo, last player standing. We'll get to see all of the results of the carnage that unfolded amidst the construction in the center of the map as Cash Out D ticks on away.
There is a little time remaining here for this cash out, and with that winch too, oh my goodness, absolutely launched onto the other rooftop. This is going to be another very difficult position for the monkeys to try and retake on, especially without things like the dome shield, of course. They're already getting seriously damaged, too. Luar brought down to about half, Ken also about half, Sofo about less than half, however, and Elmo even lesser, but time is ticking down here, and unfortunately, with that C4 getting exploded, I don't think there's any chance for the monkeys to come back from this one. It's going to be victory going to the Silverbacks here in our final game of Sunday PugDay.
Nice comeback. It started a little slow for the Silverbacks, but they really turned things around and used the construction to do so as we get one last look at the C4. Repping the bananas that we were treated to. Absolutely bananas on the map there. Silverbacks going crazy over the monkeys, and that'll get the redemption win for the Silverbacks in the final pug of the night, Beaver. We were hoping for it, and we got a little bullying to go as well. Wazd and company dominance towards the end of that game.
Hey, they're just letting them know, okay? This is where friendly rivalries can be born, okay? So maybe was it Ken that died? I believe it was. Maybe they'll have something build up here in the next Sunday PugDay. Wouldn't that be interesting? But excellent work to the Silverbacks. Like you mentioned, Mr. Beppo, they get to have control of the trophy for the next couple days now until it's time to give it back. So we'll see if monkeys can claim it next week here at Sunday PugDay. Any final thoughts on that matchup?
No final thoughts on that matchup. That was a fun one to end it on. I appreciate both teams for giving us a show, which was the case all night long. Even in the matchups that weren't close, that were 2-0 blowout pugs, it was still a lot of fun. And that's what Sunday PugDay is all about. Hopping in the Ape Squad Discord and having a bit of fun with the community members. So hopefully everyone made a new friend tonight, got a win on stream, whatever you were hoping to bring into the evening. We hope Sunday PugDay Season 2 is delivered so far.
Zesty Moose, thank you for joining. Sofo, so glad you were able to get into that final one. Yeah, tremendous work to everybody involved. Thanks for playing. Mr. Bepic, I think you're going to be closing us out here if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, great evening of Sunday PugDay. Thank you to everyone for joining in. And as always, keep on contributing to the Ape Squad community. Every single day it grows to be one of, if not the best in the finals scene. So that will do it. Shout out to Beaver being a phenomenal co-caster to share smiles and crack jokes with tonight. And of course, Justin in the background, producing like his life depends on it. As always, propping the finals broadcast scene up. And of course, Sensoyo playing as well as getting the lobbies up, adminning. We love our Ape Squad owners, as always. But I'm Mr. Bepic. I enjoyed myself tonight. Hope you did too. We'll see you next week for Sunday PugDay. Until then, peace out.